Move!
The Boys franchise has just dropped 3 episodes of their Gen V series on Prime Video, and it is enough to churn our stomachs and leave audiences hyped up. The Gen V serves as the second spin-off to The Boys after The Boys presents Diabolical. The events showcased in the series follow that of The Boys Season 2. It mainly expands the stories at Godolphin University, where young superpowered individuals are trained to become significant figures in the glamorous world stitched together by Vought International. Parents sent their superpowered children to the institution to compete and emerge as the best. They could either be crime fighters or become actors and dancers, run by the widespread superhero franchise. The series is loosely based on the 7th story arc of the Boys comic series titled We Gotta Go Now, and display the bizarre outcomes of the superpowered teenagers while they face their struggles adapting to their capabilities. Hi everyone, and welcome to another marvelous video. In today's video, we will be talking about all the characters and their bizarre stories as showcased in the 3 episodes of the Gen V series. So without out of the way, let's begin. Before we continue to our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Marie Moreau. Marie Moreau is one of the Gen V series' prime characters and one of the first superpowered teenagers shown. Her story begins with a day when A-Train had joined the Seven. A-Train was the first Afro-American superhero in the Seven, and Vought made all possible ways to brand themselves as a progressive organization operating in a post-racist world. Being an Afro-American, Marie's family rejoiced at the news that same day. While playing with her sister, Marie experienced her first period cramps, and as she went inside her washroom, she noticed blood dripping from her leg. Although her father was engrossed in the news, her mother tried reaching her outside the toilet. Strangely, Marie's period blood began floating upwards, which shocked her and made her fall over the ground. Hearing the sound, her mother broke in, and the floating blood shot through her neck and killed her. Her father arrived as well, but as Marie screamed in pain and fear, the blood surrounding her became sharp objects and killed him as well. Marie had the power to manipulate blood and was a ripoff of DC's Bloodwork. Her sister survived that day, and later, it was revealed that she hated her and never forgave her for the killings. Following the gruesome incident, Marie's sister Annabeth was adopted by a family, while Marie was shifted to the Red River Institute. If you all could recall, her name and photo were shown in The Boys Season 3 during Hugh and Starlight's mission at Red River Institute. Marie had always dreamt of joining Godolphin University and one day becoming a hero. She wanted to find and tell her sister that she was not a monster. Godolphin University accepted Marie, but instead of crime fighting, they put her into arts. She had a roommate named Emma Mayer, aka Little Cricket, who could shrink down her size. Marie was soon taken into the group of popular kids in the university, and after their first night out in which she saved a bleeding woman, she began learning the twisted guidelines of the organization. Godolphin University has its name from John Godolphin, who in the comics was a rip-off of Marvel's Charles Xavier's, except for the fact that he was super evil. Instead of being shifted into the School of Crime Fighting, Marie was expelled by Professor Rich Brickenhoff, but thanks to Luke Riordan going into frenzy and killing the professor, the decision was revoked. In order to cover up for their flaws, Vought and the university together planned on making the story of Marie saving the day and killing Luke, which not only covered their mistake, but also uplifted her status and made her one of the most popular candidates of the university. Although she was well manipulated by the dean of Godolphin University, Indira Shetty, at the end of the 3rd episode, she did have an idea of how things worked in the university. Andre Anderson. Next, we have Andre Anderson, the son of a B-grade superhero, Polarity. The character of Polarity was a ripoff of Marvel's Magneto, giving him powers to manipulate magnetic fields, and Andre was the male version of Marvel's Polaris, who was the daughter of Magneto. Andre was amongst the top students at Godolphin and was the closest friend of Luke Riordan, aka Golden Boy. One night when Andre, Marie, Jordan, Luke, and his girlfriend sneaked out of the campus to party, Andre accidentally hurt a woman who was about to bleed to death, before Marie managed to save her. However, the authorities of the university paid no heed to Andre's mistake and prosecuted Marie for risking getting caught and exposing themselves. It was soon revealed that Andre's father was one of the trustees and board of directors of Godolphin University and had made decent efforts to boost his son's popularity and PR in the superhero franchise. Although Andre initially created an image of being a reckless brat, things changed after the death of his friend Luke. Before Luke committed suicide, he hugged Andre, and Vought, along with the university, made no hesitation in promoting Andre as one of the the heroes who stepped up to stop Luke along with Marie. However, he wasn't that opportunist after all. Although he soon made love with Luke's girlfriend after his death, he began his crusade to find a reason behind Luke's death. He risked his life and discovered that Luke's brother Sam was very much alive and held captive in the Sage Grove Center, a subsidiary of Vought International, where they experimented on individuals. In the upcoming episodes, we would be seeing him along with the other friends of Luke discovering more about the university's secrets. Golden Boy. As mentioned by his close friends, Luke Riordan, aka Golden, was one of the most sane individuals they have ever met. He was a good person and loved his family. It was pretty unfortunate that he was the first Soup to die in the series, but he certainly developed the backbone of the season's plot. When Marie joined Godolphin as a freshman, Luke was the top pick for Vaught's annual hero draft. He was strong, knew how to manage his PR, and everyone was a fan of his. However, he frequently suffered from nightmares of his deceased brother Sam. Years ago, Sam was also in Godolphin, but Vought used him to experiment upon, stating to Luke that his brother was dead. Meanwhile, Luke's graph kept soaring, and he was the favorite of Prof. Rich Brickenhoff. He was confirmed to have a place in the Seven, something that every student dreamt of having. The turn of events took place when Luke learned about his brother being alive and held captive. When Marie was asked to leave the university by Prof. Rich Brickenhoff, and she left the room, Luke stormed in and turned Prof. Brickenhoff into ashes. He then charged Marie, but Jordan Lee, the second in the list of best superheroes, stepped in. The two fought, but Luke overpowered him. He was calmed down by Andre, whom he hugged, whispered that there was some secret his dad had. It flew high up in the air and exploded himself. Later, when Andre tried decoding what Luke meant, he discovered a phone inside his father's statue where Luke had recorded the message for Andre. In the message, he mentioned his brother Sam being held captive. The character of Luke was a parody of Marvel's Human Torch from the Fantastic Four, while the name Golden Boy very much existed in DC for a character who could transform anything into gold upon touch. Emma Mayer. Emma Mayer was introduced as Marie's roommate at Godolphin University, taking the alias Little Cricket. She was a soup who could shrink down her size by puking out all her food and then eating to regain her size. She was a YouTuber who made tons of followers by sharing her funny video of shrinking down her size and fighting rats. Although many found her hilarious, she often received negative comments and reviews which made her feel low. On numerous occasions, she was used by her peers, like once Liam showed his interest in her only to use her ability to shrink as a means of pleasure. When Liam began dating another girl, Justin Garcia befriended Emma, but only to use her later. She asked Emma how she shrunk her size and recorded her answer to later upload in her channel and showcase how female soups compromised their well-being to be accepted. Emma's story initially took a depressing take, and before Luke committed suicide, viewers might feel that Emma would be committing suicide. However, in the third episode, she showcased the true extent of her bravery. When Andre told her about the malpractices of the university, she immediately agreed to use her powers to find and free Luke's brother, Sam. When one of the guards arrived and stunned Sam with electric shocks, she jumped into the guard's ear and emerged from the other ear, tearing his brain and killing him. Soon there were more guards on the way, but we are yet to see how she would manage her escape. Kate Dunlap. Next, we have Kate Dunlap, who was showcased as Luke's girlfriend at Godolphin University. Her superpower was that she could manipulate people to do anything upon achieving physical touch. Now, where have we seen this sort of power? Oh yes, it was Kayla Silverfox from 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine. She could also control minds upon achieving physical contact. Kate had a fun-loving personality and loved Luke deeply. As a child, one day when she was out in the woods with her family, she jokingly asked her little brother to get lost and never come back. He was unaware of her powers, but her brother fell under the influence of her powers and never returned back. Kate was street smart and assisted Andre in discovering the mysteries behind Luke's death. When Andre sneaked inside Professor Brickenhoff's office to find evidence of Luke's brother Sam, he was caught at the stairs while escaping. However, Kate arrived right on time and saved him. She is one of the prime characters of the season, and there is a lot to see from her. Jordan Lee. Vaught's annual hero draft, in which Golden Boy was in the first position, Jordan Lee held the second place. Although initially Jordan's powers seemed to be the ability to transform into a boy and a girl at the will, his defense against Luke definitely proved why he held the number 2 position. It was also noted that his abilities changed with his gender. When Jordan transformed into a girl, she could deliver powerful concussive energy blasts. While being a man, he showcased superhuman strength. Jordan also possessed superhuman agility and durability. Jordan was introduced in the first episode as as Professor Brickenhoff's TA who rejected Marie's application at the School of Crime Fighting. They both had a bad start, and it got worse when Marie, following directions of Dean Indira Shetty, claimed to be the one fighting Luke. Jordan made attempts to make Marie reveal to the world that it was not her but Jordan who fought Luke, but she denied it, stating that she would take whatever Godolphin would grant her. Vought would never allow Godolphin University to make a gender-neutral student take the top place, keeping Jordan in complete shadow. In the third season, when Jordan's parents arrived and took him to Godolphin's gala event, it was evident that his father was a bigot and misogynist who never wanted Jordan to be a girl. In the same episode, Jordan's equation with Marie did improve, and we are yet to see if they would be teaming up in the subsequent episodes. Sam Riordan. Luke's brother Sam Riordan is going to be one of the main characters of the Gen V series. Luke and Sam were injected by Compound V by their parents, and although Luke had a positive thought of his parents' decision, Sam wanted to live a life like a normal human being. When Sam was introduced, he was trying to escape the university facility while being chased by guards. Marie, who always wanted to be right, used her powers to trip Sam over, following which Andre stopped him from using his powers. Andre later identified Sam after sneaking inside Professor Brickenhoff's office and browsing through his files. In a flashback, Sam stated how much he wanted to be a normal human and how his parents' decision to make him a soup damaged his brain. Sam frequently suffered from hallucinations, and it was so recurring that he found it difficult to separate what was real from what was imaginary. Indira Shetty. Next, we have the cunning Indira Shetty, Dean of Godolphin University. Although not much is known about her past, she seemed to be playing a role similar to what Madeline Stillwell did at Vought International. Indira reported directly to Ashley Barrett of Vought International and was a cunning woman with immense manipulative capabilities. She knew Marie was a woman driven by the need to prove herself as a superhero and molded her to believe that she needed to follow her instructions to achieve her dreams. When Marie revealed to her about her sister and how desperate she was to reach out and reunite, she secretly got in touch with her and found that her sister had no intentions of knowing about Marie or even meeting her. Although she had no powers, her words were exceptionally hard-hitting and she had an answer for everything. At the event where she was introducing Marie to the investors, one of them expressed their disappointment about the recent incident involving Luke. However, she quickly turned the discussion to her advantage, stating how male soups were the source of all troubles and hence Marie was the perfect candidate for them to invest in. In the subsequent episode, we would see a lot of her and her policies. Polarity. As mentioned earlier, Polarity was a B-grade superhero and a ripoff of X-Men's Magneto. Polarity was one of the board members and used all his powers to bring his son to the top. He was highly disgusted with Andre when he did not turn up for his interview. Andre stated that he had fallen asleep while in reality he was investigating Sam's history from the university's database at Prof. Brickenhoff's office. We're not sure which direction the character would take in his subsequent episodes. When Andre confided to him that during the interview he was not sleeping but investigating Sam's case, he immediately stopped him from even saying it, stating that it would get him killed. It was evident that Polarity was aware of what happened inside Godolphin and Vought and did not want his son to fall into trouble. However, he also wanted to achieve the fame that he could not, and so his true nature is yet to be revealed. Edison Cardosa. Edison Cardosa was showcased as a calm and ruthless doctor at Godolphin University and is one of the characters who will eventually play a critical role in the upcoming episodes. There was only one scene of him where he was hammering a long needle at the back of Sam Riordan. Professor Rich Brickenhoff. Professor Rich Brickenhoff was a renowned author and professor of crime fighting for Godolphin University. He had trained both A-Train and Blue Hawk. However, he was a malevolent person who knew Luke's brother was alive but kept it a secret to him. When Marie's act of saving a girl went viral, he called her and instead of accepting her as a student of crime fighting, expelled her. He stated that saving that girl was indeed a noble act, but it risked them being caught and identified as students of Godolphin, which would eventually bring down their name. Luke killed Professor Rich Brickenhoff, but we're yet to know what exact role the professor played in tormenting Sam. Marvelous verdict. So we have finally come to the end of this video, and we hope you have liked our content. We are yet unsure if the series would be highlighting or even mentioning Godolphin and his G-Men, which were mentioned in the comics. Reading it would certainly help you get the idea of it, and also why it's so difficult to display the hideous actions taking place amongst the G-Men. Teenage supes who were unable to control their powers were taken in by John Godolphin, who was a parody of Marvel's Charles Xavier. He was a pedophilic benefactor and often used the teenage recruits for sexual gratification Godolkin, showcasing all that would certainly be challenging, and hence the series started off with Godolkin's name being incorporated into a university where things were relatively better for the teenage supes. However, Polarity was mentioned to be a B-grade superhero, and he could have been one of the recruits of John Godolkin. If in the subsequent episodes Polarity spoke about the evil doings of the university, we might have a chance to know the history behind Godolkin University and also John Godolkin. The G-Men were not only influenced by Marvel's X-Men, but there were ideas of DC's Doom Patrol incorporated as well. Interestingly, Marvel and DC had a dispute regarding these two teams, as one claimed the other to be a copy of theirs. With all that said, we will be concluding today's video, and stay tuned for the next marvelous video. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.